What if the quietest New Year celebration held the loudest message of all? As the world counted down with fireworks and noise, something far more intimate unfolded behind closed doors. No press release. No flashing cameras. No curated social posts timed for midnight. Just a private party, carefully planned, quietly executed, and centered around one woman, Song Hye Kyo. And the man behind it all was Lee Min-ho. This was not a coincidence. This was not a casual gathering. This was a gesture that immediately raised eyebrows across the industry the moment whispers began to surface. Because when someone like Lee Min-ho chooses privacy over spectacle, it usually means one thing. It matters. Right now, right before the next revelation, is your chance to stay connected. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss another powerful story, another shocking twist, or another unforgettable journey. According to sources close to the situation, the New Year celebration was intentionally kept small. Trusted friends, soft lighting, a space chosen not for luxury, but for comfort. Every detail reflected thoughtfulness rather than excess. And at the center of it all was Song Hye Kyo, reportedly unaware that the evening she expected to be quiet would become something unforgettable. Why would one of Korea's biggest stars go to such lengths in complete silence? Lee Min-ho has always been associated with grand gestures on screen, lavish confessions, cinematic romance. But off-screen, he is known for restraint, for guarding his personal life with discipline. Which is exactly why this moment feels so significant. The surprise was revealed gently. No dramatic entrance. No announcement. Just a shift in the room. A realization that this gathering existed for one reason only. To welcome the new year not with noise, but with intention. Those present described Song Hye Kyo's reaction as stunned, then softened by emotion. Not overwhelmed. Not performative. Just quietly moved. The kind of response that comes when someone feels truly seen. This was not about celebration. It was about presence. For years, Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo have stood as icons of Korean drama royalty. Separate paths. Separate careers. Separate narratives. And yet, fans have long noticed the mutual respect, the careful distance, the way neither ever speaks lightly about the other. Until now, that distance was interpreted as professionalism. But moments like this invite a different interpretation. Why now? Why privately? Why her? New Year's Eve is symbolic. It is about endings and beginnings. About what we leave behind and what we choose to carry forward. To plan a private party on such a night is not casual. It is deliberate. It suggests reflection, intention, a desire to start something or honor something away from the noise of the world. The absence of public acknowledgement only deepened the intrigue. No photos leaked immediately. No tagged posts. No congratulatory messages. And yet, the story found its way out, not through spectacle, but through consistency. Multiple accounts. Matching details. A picture slowly forming of an evening that was never meant to trend, but somehow could not stay hidden. Because sincerity has a way of leaking through silence. Fans reacted with a mix of disbelief and quiet excitement. Not frenzy. Not demands. Just curiosity. Because this did not feel like a rumor chasing attention. It felt like a glimpse into something carefully protected. Lee Min-ho did not need to do this publicly. He did not need validation. And that is precisely why the gesture feels powerful. It was not for the audience. It was for her. Song Hye Kyo, long admired for her grace and emotional depth, has always been selective about the energy she allows into her private life. To be welcomed into a new year this way suggests trust, comfort, something steady enough to exist without explanation. Is this the beginning of a new chapter, or the continuation of a story never meant to be read out loud? Industry insiders are cautious with their words, but even caution carries tone. This was not dismissed as coincidence. It was described as meaningful, intentional, respectful. And those three words rarely appear together by accident. Whether this private New Year celebration marks a deeper relationship or simply a profound moment of connection, One thing is clear. It was not random. In an industry built on exposure, choosing privacy is its own kind of statement. And in a world obsessed with loud declarations, the quiet ones often carry the most truth. As the new year began, no official confirmation followed. No denial either. Just silence. And sometimes, silence is not emptiness. Sometimes it is protection. Whatever exists between Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo does not need fireworks to be real. It does not need headlines to be valid. It existed, if only for one night, in a room filled with intention, warmth, and a sense of beginning. And perhaps that is the most cinematic ending of all. Not a public countdown. Not a staged reveal. But a quiet welcome into a new year, shared only by those who mattered most. And as the first hours of the new year slipped quietly into morning, the meaning of that private night only grew heavier. Because moments like these are rarely about a single evening. They are about everything that led up to it. What kind of history leads to a gesture this carefully chosen? Those who understand Lee Min-ho know that he is deliberate with his time and even more deliberate with his intentions. He does not move impulsively when it comes to people who matter. Planning a private New Year celebration is not something done out of courtesy or coincidence. It is something done after reflection, after consideration, after deciding that someone deserves to be welcomed into the next chapter with care. For Song Hye Kyo, the timing carried its own quiet symbolism. The past years have been filled with transformation, career highs, personal growth. Public scrutiny endured with dignity. She has often spoken about valuing peace over noise, depth over spectacle. And on the night the world celebrated loudly, she was welcomed softly, surrounded not by chaos, but by intention. That contrast is impossible to ignore. Those present at the gathering described the atmosphere as calm, almost cinematic in its stillness. Conversations lingered. Laughter was gentle. There was no rush to capture moments for the outside world. Time seemed to slow, as if the night itself understood it was not meant to be shared. Lee Min-ho remained close, not in a way that demanded attention, but in a way that offered reassurance. Presence without pressure. Care without performance. The kind of behavior that does not ask to be noticed, yet cannot be mistaken. And that is where the story deepens. Because grand romance announces itself, but real connection reveals itself quietly. Fans began to sense this difference almost immediately. The reaction online was not explosive, but contemplative. People spoke in softer tones. Speculation gave way to reflection. Because this did not feel like a headline chasing relevance. It felt like a glimpse into something intentionally protected. Why would two of the most recognizable figures in Korean entertainment choose to let a moment like this exist without explanation? Perhaps because not everything meaningful needs to be defined publicly. Perhaps because some connections are still being shaped, still being understood, still being held gently before being named. Or perhaps because this was never meant to be a message to the world at all. It was a message to one person. New Year's Eve is a threshold. A line between what was and what could be. To stand on that line with someone is an act of trust. It says you are welcome in the future I am stepping into. And that may be the quiet truth at the heart of the story. No confirmations have followed. No denials either. Just continued discretion. And in an industry where silence is often strategic, this silence feels different. It feels respectful, mutual, intentional. Whatever exists between Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo may never be explained in the way audiences expect. It may unfold slowly, or it may remain private forever. But that New Year's night has already written itself into memory. Not because it was seen, but because it was felt. Sometimes the most powerful stories are not the ones told loudly. They are the ones that happen quietly, when the world is too busy counting down to notice that something meaningful has just begun. And as the new year moves forward, one question lingers, soft but persistent. Was that private party simply a celebration of time passing? Or was it the first page of a story just beginning to be written?